So a bit ago, Lee shared her most embarrassing story at work, and it got me inspired to share my most embarrassing story at work with you all. And inevitably, I'm going to say this, and other people are going to reach out and remind me of a more embarrassing story because I have quite a bit of content.
Of course
there.
they are.
But let's set the stage, and we're in Amsterdam.
Oh, love that city.
Now, I didn't live in Amsterdam, but I was there for work, and I worked for a large global consulting firm. You can go to my LinkedIn to figure that out, but a very well-known consulting firm. And I was there because I was on a project, and I got together with a number of colleagues around the world. I was leading this project, and I said, I really thought we needed to sit in the same room. Just want to go to Amsterdam.
Yeah, I was like,
obviously.
obviously. Put a pin on the map,
pretty much. So we are in Amsterdam, and the office there was right on the canal.
Oh.
It was a multi-story office. And so we're working very, very hard, as we tended to do. And one of the guys on our project worked in that office, and he's like, let's go to upstairs because they have all free food. And while we're enjoying our free lunch, we can go and look on the rooftop because it's a beautiful rooftop overlooking these canals.
Nice.
Like, okay, cool. And so we're out there having our food and, all that. And I was going to get something. He's like, actually, there's this cool periscope. And when you look off the top, you can see the whole city. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And so I was going to get some more food. And so my colleagues had gone and were looking at Periscope. They walked away. They're like, oh, yeah, that was very cool. And so I walk up to it and I'm like, And I look and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, how did y'all reach this? And I look and I'm like, y'all tall fuckers. And all my colleagues, I'm 5'3". They were all at least 5'7", 5'8". They're like Lee's height. And so this colleague was like, oh, just pull it down. If you just pull it down, it's movable. I'm like, okay. So I pull, and I pull so hard, poof, a big puff of cloud of smoke comes out in this thing. I fall to the ground. The periscope falls from the ceiling, along with like thing everywhere. And it's like this big golden thing. And my colleague gets big eyes. He's like, oh my God, I was just kidding. It's, oh my God. And I was like, what do you mean? He's
What
like,
do you mean you were kidding,
He goes, that's not like that's not a movable periscope. That's a piece of art that was installed for the 50th anniversary of this office.
And you literally dangled on it with your whole weight.
Oh my
and
God.
busted
Like,
out
pull
the
it-
ceiling.
No. He fucking did you dirty.
Yeah, he did you dirty.
I was like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And I like, and it
Walk
wasn't
away.
like a hotel. Like I work there. Not in that office ever, obviously. But I was like,
Oh
fuck.
my God.
And so I'm like, it's lying there on the floor. And I'm like,
Are you injured?
No, thank you. You know
Workers'
what?
comp.
Nobody else
Workers'
asked me. Thank you, but they were my like friends. But like no. And so I'm like, oh, okay, I need to report. He's like, well, you need to go down and report this to the receptionist, and she's not the friendliest. And I was like,
Oh, great.
what? I go, does anybody else want to come with me? Fucking hands down.
Crickets.
So I go and I slink down and take the elevator down and go to the receptionist, and I'm like trying to explain this and tell more details than is necessary. And this woman just fucking stares at me, and she's like, what? And she's like, where is it? And I'm like, I leaned it against the wall just to put it there. And she's like, what? And just looked at me, and she's like, why did you think it could actually move down? I was like,
Because dumbass told
my
me.
colleague said it could. And so she's like, I don't even know what we're going to do about this. And so I went back upstairs, and I'm trying to do things. But I went back to the US, and for weeks, like I would email my colleague, like, hey, any update on the Periscope? Did they put the art in? And they had a book. Like he was like, look, they have a book right next to it. Did you not see the book? No, I didn't look at this book. I was trying to look at the beautiful skyline of Amsterdam. They had a commemorative book for it. And so he's like, nope, still not up yet. It's leaning against the wall.
Oh, God.
But we had like a secret Santa, and one of my colleagues in the US office gave me a kid's toy periscope for my secret Santa. And so, but that was pretty fucking embarrassing to destroy property
on
at
a
a
work trip.
well-known organization.
Well, that'll teach them. They should have put a stool there. That wasn't
Yeah.
a very inclusive office.
That's what I said. I'm
Okay,
like, I
there
mean,
you go. That's what I
don't
would
know
have
if
said. That's what I would have said. You know?
Damians are tall, but I will. On our Instagram story, I have a picture of it.
I was just about to say, I'm like, do you have a picture of it?
I do. I have a picture of it leaning against the wall, and I have a picture of my the kiddo periscope
Yes,
that I got at
please
Secret Santa.
share that.
But I do, so you can see what it looks like, and it was real. I mean, it looked like you were on a ship. So yeah,
Wow.
fucking embarrassing.
Oh, gosh, that's brutal.
Yeah, the work pranks, not funny.
Yeah, no, that's his fault.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. But that was my
Oh, gosh.
embarrassing story. Again, I have plenty of
Did
stuff
it get fixed? Do you know?
I stopped asking, honestly. And then I left
Yeah,
and started.
that was
managing
nice
my
that
food.
you even
Good for you.
asked.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, hey, good luck with this. I broke it."
Well, see, this is, you know me. I overthink
I would have just
it.
walked away.
I
wouldn't
woke
have
up
told
in the
the
middle of the
receptionist
night
nothing.
thinking about it.
Hell no.
I'm talking to
Nope.
more people about it while we were still
That's
at
a
the
multi-billion-dollar business. They're gonna be all right. You know what I
They'll
mean?
be fine. But I would like bring it up to people just in case you see it. Well, fucking everyone's
Yeah,
gonna see that.
I did
And
that.
they're gonna be like, "Damn American,
It was
coming
was an accident.
coming from that's
Just coming over and conquering shit.
coming over and breaking property." So
I wasn't even high.
yeah, but that was no, it wasn't literally.
Yeah.
No, it's a great question.
Oh,
No substances. But so that was it.
God, who doesn't love an embarrassing work experience?
Really?
Me.
Yeah, everybody else.
Oh,
Everybody
I
else found it interesting. But yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, on that note, let's transition, pivot into our meeting agenda for the day. I know that we do have a hard stop. And so thank you so much, Ashley, for that water cooler talk. We all learn not to,
Touching.
destroy
Yeah.
property
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
workplace. It is helpful.
Yeah.
Touch anything. Exactly.
Just don't.
Exactly.
Keep your
Just
hands
don't.
to yourself.
Well, we will transition into our cringe corporate speak, and Jamie is at bat for that. And then for our meeting hot topic, it's all about the LinkedIn cringe. Oh my gosh, LinkedIn is on fire of late for just being the
lately it's
cringiest
got
place.
cringier than ever.
The last
Yeah.
year, people
Yeah.
just out of control. They really, really are. So we are going to dive into that and maybe share some of the horrifically hilarious things that we see there on the LinkedIn. And then, of course, we will save time for those questions and comments. All right, Jamie, what do you got from a cringe corporate speak?
Noodle it or noodle on it. So I know I've talked about the consulting firm that I had to work closely with at one of my jobs, and they were notorious for using the cringiest of the corporate speak. But another one was noodle on it. So what this essentially means is think about it, right? Or we need to think about it. We need to maybe, brainstorm, come together. But for some reason, it really bothered me. Like, because,
Ick.
yeah, it just gives me the ick, but it's like noodle.
Yeah. That word sounds funny. It's like
Yeah.
making lunch for your kids.
Yeah, I'm like, I love
Yeah, no,
wet
thank you.
noodle and
And it's noodle on it because noodle's another word for brain, right?
Why is that?
Yeah,
You're,
isn't it?
your noodle.
Your
like
noodle, right?
yeah, your
'Cause-
noodle, yeah.
I would never
Yeah.
say that to a grown adult or a child, actually. Like
Yeah.
your noodle. No.
Let's noodle on that. Like what?
Yeah,
Just
no,
noodle
thank
it
you.
around.
Yeah, like I'll eat some noodles.
But it's kind of like that parking lot of like, again, you're saying it and you're saying something that makes it sound you're never going to hear about that topic again.
Yeah.
And they're not going to,
Yeah.
they're actually
No,
not going to
absolutely
noodle,
not.
Yeah.
noodle on it. Think about it.
Yeah.
They
that's
might,
true.
but they won't do anything about it.
Guys, that's pretty much what at least half of the cringe corporate speaks, right?
Yeah.
If they're just excuses for
Yeah,
us
they're
not
just
doing the work,
excuses.
basically.
They're setting
they're
false expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They are.
If you're gonna have a noodle, this is probably a question and comment, but if you were gonna order like a noodle, what would you get? Like, what would you get? Like a
A bucatini.
what? Fucking fancy
Yeah, I know.
shit.
Oh,
Look at-
Her bougie
what is
ass.
that? What is that? If you said
It's a
that to me,
hollowed out spaghetti
Okay,
noodle.
honestly, if you
so
said
it's
that to
thick
me-
and it's good, because the
I'm-
sauce will get in
I'm sure
there.
Yeah.
I definitely have eaten that. But if you had just said, "What's a bucatini?" I would have said cheese.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I would
just-
have said like a brand of shoe.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Brand of shoe.
Okay. What about
dear.
you? What about you, Jamie?
I mean, I love a good penne pasta.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's very like,
Yeah.
but like, if you it depends on what you're eating, right? Like
Yeah, the
what
sauce
kind of
depends.
noodles,
What sauce you're gonna
what
have on it.
sauce is
Yeah.
going to complement
Yeah.
what the noodle is. Because
Yeah.
you wouldn't want like buttered noodles with like a ziti.
Yeah, that'd
Jeez,
be
I love
just
that.
That's what I'm saying.
animalistic.
It
Jeez.
really depends.
Yeah.
Like I do love a good egg noodle, but
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense with like so.
Yeah. I got a pasta maker once and I made fettuccine.
Oh,
which was-
damn.
that was this-
Ooh.
a pasta. And I made it like three times. And then it's hard. It
Oh,
should
yeah.
be easy.
Yeah,
It-
yeah,
It
it's
looks
hard.
easy when I
Yes.
look up the things. And when I'm trying to make it and I look up the people on YouTube make it look so easy
Yes.
and so fun. And I'm like sweating and the flour puff is coming from my fucking egg. I'm start over. My
Yeah.
egg on the kitchen table.
Yeah,
but,
it's clever looking.
But I like to go out or make, like some just plain old macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Annie's to make it a little bit,
a shell, a
organic. Feel
shell.
like I'm doing something
shell.
healthy. A
Yeah,
shell, a
yeah,
shell.
a
Yeah,
shell, all
squeeze the
fancy.
cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, very cringy. That gives us the ick. And what else gives us the ick? What an incredible transition is LinkedIn, honestly. We love the LinkedIn. I mean, you know, but it's some of the content
Yes.
that is showing up on the LinkedIn
Yes.
of late.
Yes.
There seems to be a turn of the tide post COVID, and boy,
Yes.
is it a interesting
Yeah,
place to
wow.
be.
I mean, it's become a personal diary for some.
Oh,
That's because
damn.
because LinkedIn, like ostensibly, like, there's things I've learned from LinkedIn, and I'm
1,000%.
as a LinkedIn learning instructor.
Shout out
you can,
LinkedIn.
you
No,
can
we love it.
I love that but it's like anytime you open a platform, allow people to do unfettered things.
They will.
becomes a playground. It's like the interview. Just have an open interview and just let people talk and give people the floor. People will fill that with content, and sometimes it is so freaking weird.
Yeah, there's some weird things.
It really is.
All right, let's hit Jamie. Let's
I
go.
know.
Yeah,
What do you
so-
got? What do you
yeah,
got,
so,
Jamie? Cringe us out.
I'm obviously not going to name names here.
No, we
No,
don't have to
but-
be ugly.
that would
Um,
people can search.
yeah. Yes. Obviously, you know, one thing that has I found a lot is people like blasting their own personal lives on there. So like their marriage qualms on LinkedIn. I'm like, this is like, yes, this is social media, and this is like a professional business networking site. Like no one gives a shit about your husband cheating on you. Save that for the Facebook. You know, put the cryptic quote on Facebook with, you know, you all of a sudden changing a picture to like a sexy selfie with your cleavage hanging out, you know, like save that for the Facebooks.
Yeah, that is Facebook.
Maybe not the LinkedIn's, but you know, I've shouted them out before, but there's an Instagram page. It's a meme page called The Best of LinkedIn, and they daily find the most cringiest LinkedIn post. So one recently was a man was holding his crying son, and he posted the photo and basically about, Daddy, you can't go to work. But yeah, using his son, it just was so
As
gross.
Was it his real
As
face?
post bait.
Was it his real face too?
It was the child's real face, but of course, the creator of Best of
Yeah,
LinkedIn
right,
blurred
yes.
out the child's face.
Right.
But the
did
man
not.
who made the post left his child's crying face. And Lord knows if the kid was really crying about his daddy. Like, you know what I
pinched
mean?
him
Like,
right before the picture. Just
all rude.
yeah, well, you don't even know with that and with integrity like that. Like,
Like,
he
can
could
you
be crying
imagine
because he
having
didn't
your
get
kid
him.
crying? You're like, real quick, let me get
Oh,
a
let
selfie.
me do
Or
a selfie.
Tell
That's
his,
what I'm
tell
saying,
his
like-
spouse, like, hey,
Oh,
could you just get this? Just get that. What are you
Yeah,
gonna
like,
do with
what
it?
the fuck is wrong
what
with
are
you?
gonna-
Just
I'm gonna
give the kid the
influence-
Uncrustable he was actually
I'm gonna
for.
influence my professional network with this. With this.
Right? Whatever it takes.
It's just I don't understand. And sometimes, and like the thing, I mean, that's the. Oh my God. There's also like there's Reddit. So just like I talk about, I'm not good at Twitter. I'm not good at Reddit. We do have an HR besties page on Reddit. I think I've made a couple posts. Subreddit, like bad, but there's a Reddit page called LinkedIn Lunatics, and people put things on there. And I tell you what, it is kind of the same thing as Best of LinkedIn. You look at this stuff and it's like, I mean, look like this article, taking creepy pictures of women inside their homes early in the morning. I mean, this is it. People are posting, like, I was out for a walk this morning at 7:45. I saw this woman already working, but not at work. I saw myself in her. This is a man taking a picture outside of someone's home of a woman working inside her house, and does a whole post. And again, like, this is a woman that made this, who is then like talking about that. I stood there for, this woman is making a post with a picture of a stranger. I stood there for a minute like a cold stone creeper, and watched her complete
Yeah,
focus.
you were.
Yeah,
But
let me noodle on it. You fucking are.
That's you know what? You should noodle on those things. But like, can you like and people do that.
Yeah.
But you go
So she literally documented how
She
she's
did,
a
like, I'm
stalker.
sure-
Yeah.
She documented
Single
that.
white female vibes.
Uh-huh.
I bet
Like
that-
that's mad creepy. Like I just
That
can't
is
believe
cringy.
how people are using it almost for. It's no longer become a professional networking site. And also, which is really bad, is people. You know, a lot of people are constantly stealing content, right? Because everyone is a quote unquote content creator. So, but it's literally copying and pasting someone else, like a LinkedIn influencer's post, and just copying and pasting it as your own, and then so you can get the likes and the comments and the accolades. Just makes me want to bomb.
It's like people's charitable donations. I mean, or this one here is one, and multiple people post this. There's got to be some award when multiple people post the same post in LinkedIn Lunatics. And this is someone who was making a. They were traveling on the road, and to save money for their company, they weren't going to eat out. They did this.
Oh God.
And this is a picture. Thank God for the picture capability. Is them cooking a piece of chicken with a fairly shitload of butter on top of it in the coffee maker in the hotel.
No.
And they say, although my company allows me to expense dinner, I wanted to save money because I know every dollar counts in the P&L. It's the little things that can get you promoted.
What the fuck? So you give the person who uses the coffee maker salmonella?
That's a great point.
What?
Yeah, like, right. It's so, anyway, but people post this. And so sometimes people will be like, is this satire? Is it?
That wasn't though.
I don't know. I don't know.
Gosh.
I don't know.
But it's still cringy.
It's cringy. But I saw the Baltimore Bridge tragedy. This person who's a frequent flyer on LinkedIn Lunatics, and she does every post has one line of text and then a space and one line of text. And then
LinkedIn.
The notorious
I've saved so many lives
yeah.
and careers through my wizardry. But she this one's a she did a post at the Baltimore Bridge tragedy. Now, I'm reading it and talks about how she went out and bought the Amazon smash hammers, which I actually had just bought.
Those window smash tools.
But just before that, based on recommendation of friends, it was like, the algorithm knew that and probably popped this up. But she does this whole post about, a long post about she bought these for family, and then says, you always got to be prepared for anything in life, including job loss. #resume writer. Because that's what this person does.
Yeah, I'm you are literally taking people who lost their life,
and then there's like an asterisk. It's like thoughts and prayers to all those affected. I'm like,
it's like, bitch, please, you're just trying to get money.
Like, no, and I'm like, God, I wish you could see like the Wayback Machine for the internet, where you can see how pages are edited over time. I wish you could see if that was in the original post. But I'm looking at the comments. And these people are like, wow, so inspirational. Like, oh my God. And I'm like, who are these bots? I commented, and I was like, do you think that this is an appropriate hashtag for this type of post? I'm sure she deleted it, but
I know. I just can't, like, the delusion. And then the people that follow these people with their comments, like, in full support. I'm like, do you not see how fucked up this is?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm getting very fired up about this.
Yeah.
Do you post on much?
Not anymore, because the content just doesn't move me the way other platforms do.
It's very different.
Yeah, and I think, as a content creator, it's fascinating the uniqueness of each platform. Like, I love that. I can tell you the exact mood, the feel, the followers, the tone, the attitude, the language, like everything of each platform. They're all different, right? And LinkedIn's one where it just has some nuances to it. Like we were already joking about how, like, when you write, you have to put spaces in between your sentences, right? And you have to put just a handful of hashtags at the end. And people love to do the repost and recycle, right? Like there's just certain verbiage like you use in the LinkedIn write-ups, right? But I was wondering, I was trying to recall, when did I notice really that LinkedIn was getting ultra kind of cringy or overly promotey to where it's delusional, you were saying, totally delulu. And to me, it was when that CEO was crying.
Oh yeah.
Remember that crying CEO? That was 2 years ago, I want to say, year and a half, right?
The layoff.
The mass layoff.
Yeah. It made me so sad
It was definitely during COVID.
Not be laid off, but do the layoffs.
Yeah. That's when I really started seeing content where it was wait, what? It really took me aback, right?
Well, I guess when you say COVID, I think that's the thing, because you might talk to your colleagues about some things, but now that more people, you talk about the isolation and all that, people don't have colleagues to talk to. So I think they are, which I actually, I still do get plenty of value out of LinkedIn and some things, but I do chuckle because it's it's like any type of platform where you're like, did you just, for all the things that you guys have talked about, but I do think it's this thing you used to talk to other people about, and people just don't talk to people. So they put
Absolutely.
at people.
Yeah.
And I think like things like TikTok, where you're seeing people kind of build these brands. People now are like, oh, I want to build my personal brand on this. I mean, I laugh because I look at LinkedIn Lunatics and I personally am afraid I would show up on there at some point because I have posts on LinkedIn.
That's why you read through it, really.
Yeah, you're just looking, she's like
Looking for
searching
your
at
photo.
manager method.
But I literally like I chuckled on that. No, but my Reddit name is Manager Method, and so I'm
So
like,
they would know.
I thought about that because I post on HR Besties. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be so embarrassed if someone's like this lunatic, and I'll be like, oh. But I mostly post my videos.
Yeah. You post your TikToks. Yeah.
I post TikToks on there periodically, and I do. But I did laugh. I'm like, oh my god, I'm sure that someone could find something, and they'd be like, you're a LinkedIn lunatic, and I'd be like, oh, I'm guilty. But yeah, so there we are.
Yeah.
I've started using LinkedIn as like a Twitter to just like say my jokes.
Yeah,
Because I just don't. I don't know. It's not that I don't care, but it's like everyone else is using it for a stupid ass function. This is now my Twitter.
Right.
Like,
And I've seen more of that.
yeah.
Of course, Corporate Sween.
Yes, Corporate Sweens.
He does that. He
Yeah.
posts, but the thing is, he posts on Instagram and does videos. But when he posts on LinkedIn, he does it and posts as if he were. It's like
As if he was the
like
CEO
a complete
of
like
the
douchebag CEO. And it's
I don't know how many people have caught
That's-
on that it's a joke, which makes me laugh even more.
I think you're right on that. And so that's funny because people are like, oh my goodness,
I know. I can't believe. And
Is
I'm
this
like,
an effective management
I'm like,
strategy?
you're a fucking idiot.
And
but-
I'm like, and he'll like respond right along with it.
yeah, I know.
So-
He does a very good job of playing that role.
I've met people on LinkedIn that I still haven't met in real life that I like message with people.
Yeah.
And from that professional level, I like it. But again, there's a lot of
There's a lot of cringe. I think one of the cringiest things that I saw was last year, and it still sticks with me. Is a LinkedIn influencer, a few 100,000 followers, posting to get her son a job without the son knowing about it, and the son was just a loser. And I mean, and you can just tell the way she talked about him. You know what I mean? She was just describing just the biggest loser, just the most unreliable worker. I mean, can't finish anything he starts, but he's cute. Like talking like that, like really
Like
weird
real
language.
Right. The clear communication we appreciate, but we want the substance. That's the part she misses.
And I ran to the comments. I mean, I sprinted Olympic style to the comments.
Break an ankle running to the comments.
Because I just knew like it was just going to get eaten alive, right?
Yeah.
No. People were like, what a great mama.
Yeah.
Oh, mama bear in the house.
Yep.
I mean, and I was like, I choked on my drink.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I was like, it is so crazy. No, this boy, he's not like 16. No, he's like a grown man.
He's like 35.
No, literally, it was like 20s, and it's just like, oh my gosh, without any clue. And she's using the platform like that and
with her
begging.
hundreds,
And it was
thousands
just,
of followers.
oh my God. It was, I mean, I had a physical reaction to it. It was so gross. And then the fact that people were cool with that.
I'm
It
telling
just
you,
blew me away.
Yeah, they're just like they've
Wow.
become like computer programmed almost.
That's
people are like
amazing. Well,
hyping
that's
up.
the one thing I'll say about LinkedIn that it has going for it is that you generally have to use your real name with, again, some exceptions
Yes.
and all
Yeah.
those things.
Yes.
But unlike, our other social media channels we post on, which will be like, the biggest insults come from like user 272,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
with a private profile,
Exactly.
no real profile
Yeah,
picture.
yeah.
But LinkedIn, people are putting themselves out there, and the stuff people say, you'll have the comments of people getting hit on in the DMs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is super inappropriate.
I've
But that
gotten lots
same
of photos.
Yes, but those same
Ugh,
thing
thank
of
God I
the people or the people will post an opportunity, and it'll be like a lawyer, let's say, like a law firm that will say like, oh, I'm gonna hire someone, not gonna be W-9 to start, like already, okay, so you're not gonna employ them, that's engaging, you're gonna engage them, and gonna do all this shitload of work, really need to have experience, really need to be from a top school, and we're gonna be paying them $75 an hour. And then you're like, wait, but I know you're going to bill them out at like $750 an hour. And you're like, this is not like and so people in the comments, oh my God, commenting to amplify. What an amazing opportunity. And you're like, I wish you could so there's less, I think there's less people calling people out on shit because people don't feel as comfortable. People will never say things to your face that they would say under anonymity. But I've commented on things like that.
I have too.
Or messaged the person and I'm like, this is actually like fairly exploitative.
Yeah.
And
this isn't interested.
Yeah, like this is not like, how much are you,
isn't
tell
great.
me, what are you going to build them out at? Whoa, I take on so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Like if cringe corporates speak, was a platform, it would be LinkedIn.
Hashtag
Like
LinkedIn.
there's a
It
lot of
would.
just fakeness,
Yes.
pleasantries.
Yes.
It's like every response is canned. I mean, you know,
Yes.
it just like that
Yes.
is LinkedIn, right?
Yes. And
I
you know
mean-
what's also out of pocket? And you guys might have experienced this, but really I was very, very private on LinkedIn because of my social media presence. I didn't
Yeah.
want people to know
Right.
where I worked.
Yeah, you just turn yours on.
I
for the most
literally
part.
just turned mine on in
Yeah.
like the
Now
last
she's
6
like
months.
free balling all over
Yeah,
the
I'm free
place.
balling. But the amount in the last 6 months of just people in my DMs
Oh my gosh.
asking for advice, like free advice.
Yes.
Or the sales pitches. Oh, I see you
Friendships.
work at so and so. I would love to show you this, and I just can't. Like, you know, it's just. I'm like, y'all don't understand. This is like I do have a real job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're bombarding me with sales pitches
Yeah.
and my
Well,
LinkedIn.
Jamie, I have a
That's a
franchise opportunity for you.
Exactly. I have a
will-
lot of those in my DMs right now.
I sure do. I'm gonna have
God.
this and
Is it with an MLM?
people also then they'll savage you. Oh, I've noticed your LinkedIn profile, your website, my YouTube, my social media.
Yeah.
They could use a
They're
lot
all
of work.
shit.
They
Yeah,
are real
exactly,
shit. You
yeah.
can use. I
You're real
appreciate that.
shit.
I've mocked up this video and I'm like, but that's not my site. That's somebody else's. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Now they've got me engaged.
Yeah. Now, for the record, to close the hot topics,
yes,
right,
I mean-
is that we could have this sort of conversation about every platform, and we do.
We do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
again, like heart hands out to LinkedIn. You
Yes.
know, there is a lot of goodness there. We are all on it and participating. And if you go to some of our content, I'm sure it's cringe as
Yeah,
hell
you will
too.
see. I know we are
I've got
guilty.
servant leader in my headline and shit like that. Okay,
Lord
I've been-
knows what I have on.
I know. I got to give him a little razzle dazzle, but hey, shout out. You know, and I mean, highly
it is.
recommend to LinkedIn from a getting a job
Yes,
perspective.
yes.
Everyone's going to go Google on there and try and search for you. You know what
And
I mean?
LinkedIn has
So-
amazing tools, right?
Yes,
LinkedIn
amazing
Learning.
tools.
Thank you.
We shout out to LinkedIn
Exactly.
Learning. But they also, I actually personally have used their salary insights tool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good
You know, they
stuff.
obviously have jobs as well, like job posting. I've not only applied to jobs on LinkedIn, but I've, as a recruiter, posted jobs on LinkedIn. So, I mean, LinkedIn has some amazing tools.
It's just the
But it's
people.
like anything.
It's just unfortunately
it's
the
like a podcast.
platform.
You give a mic.
Be people,
People
You
on the LinkedIn.
You give a mic to people, and people will say all sorts of crazy shit. We're guilty among
Absolutely.
that,
Yeah.
but it is some good entertainment. But yeah, that Instagram page and then LinkedIn Lunatics on Reddit.
Yeah,
They
I know.
will get some eyefuls on there.
I've got to check that out. I
Yeah.
haven't.
Oh god,
Oh.
it's so good.
Best of LinkedIn.
It's so good / bad.
Exactly.
You'll get good
Cringe.
That's how I exercise. Instead of working out as much as I should, I get abs from like
Oh,
literally
the
physically
cringe.
cringing.
From
Like,
the-
oh my god, someone put that
oh.
under their real name.
Oh
They
man.
thought that would be received differently in the world.
Gosh, well, LinkedIn will never disappoint from a cringe perspective. That's a good way to sum up this hot topic. But now, shifting gears, do you like that? To questions and comments. What do you all have?
I was just thinking, on the topic of LinkedIn cringe, once they they'll shenan again.
That is true.
It is.
They will. I like that. I'll put that in my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, you should put it in your bio.
Yeah, I'll put it in my bio.
Once they they'll shenan again.
That is
It's
true.
profound. I know.
Yeah, that is true. If you were to have if you could only put things on one social media platform, what would you put them on? Like if you had to have all the others taken away.
Instagram for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's kind of my go-to. You're in a love-hate relationship right
I'm
now
in an
with TikTok.
abusive relationship with
abusive
TikTok, and I
relationship.
always have been.
Yeah.
TikTok's not the easiest to work with,
No,
but it's
it's
my
not.
primary platform, and it's what I'm good at. I build everything on TikTok, and then it gets taken other places. But Instagram, I'm going to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because it is a commercialization app, and it's the only one. So, I mean, there's a lot you can do with the links and the connection of people is far greater
Yeah.
on Instagram. It just is.
Yep.
You're not in a void. It really is
Yeah.
connective, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So I feel closer to my followers on
me too.
Instagram,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
enjoy.
People, Jamie has meme pages, which means she'll take content, but there are a lot of people that get out there and they just take content and repurpose it and don't give people credit and steal it.
Yeah.
Jamie goes out of her way to like, she'll repost people and credit them, do these things. And so I grew like from like, you know, like 1,000, maybe less, to like 20,000 in a pretty short period of time from Jamie posting my content. But I have to say, probably LinkedIn.
I know. Yeah.
But probably because of, like, my business is business to business.
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to noodle on that?
I might.
There we go.
Well, you're so good at that.
I like
You're so
that.
good at that.
I like
so
that.
I am. Again, that's why you can see me on LinkedIn Lunatic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think that makes sense for
Yeah.
with your business. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It does. Yeah. So let me see. Not a question, but a quick comment for me. Who was sharing the story earlier? Like, God, it's only been a few minutes and I can't even remember, about saving the money with the chicken. Using
Me,
the
me on the-
yes, that's what it was,
yes,
right?
the coffee maker.
Yeah, just a quick comment, which is actually a story, but I'm calling it a comment, was that my first week of work at an employer, I went on a business trip. And that's pretty much the shittiest thing you can do to a new
Yes.
employee.
Yep.
It really is.
Yep.
And because they have to book all your shit and whatever.
Yep.
And, you know,
Yeah.
it's just horrific, right? You get no choices or freedom or whatever. And then, of course, I was traveling with my boss, and that, you know, can be
Super
hard.
uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable first
you don't
week,
even
whatever.
know this person yet. Yep.
So we go somewhere and we eat lunch, right? We're on travel. We're in a different state. We had to fly there. And he tells me over the lunch that he bought on the company card that in this instance, though, in the future, you shouldn't use your company card because you are on another company property and you would have eaten lunch, right? You know, naturally you would eat lunch just like everyone else around here works here, and they're paying for their own lunch.
They're paying for their own, like they're bringing their lunch.
And literally I was like, no, absolutely
Yeah,
not. I will be
no.
using the corporate card on
Yeah.
all travel and all purchases. You can show me where that's different in the travel policy. He's like, "Ugh," you know,
Yeah,
he's like, oh my
exactly.
God, okay,
Yeah.
she's crazy. No, but I mean, what
Yeah,
is
it's in
is that
I
in
have
the
a
travel
stipend for
policy?
the fucking day, bruh.
God. That might be a topic for a full episode.
Oh, I
corporate
know.
travel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's
all
like
things,
the time
all
I can't
things
versus-
T&L.
But that's the
Because I've
thing,
got
being
a,
like,
Yes.
well, that's the thing,
I've
being like,
got a
well,
lot.
no, I bring my lean cuisine, I bring my dollar, I get the savings on my dollar lean cuisine. I can't bring that with me on the plane.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not
You
like
didn't-
schlepping
Yeah,
a
the travel
cooler.
I'm not bringing my cooler.
Yeah.
And so when I'm
Yeah.
eating
Hot Pockets.
my
Yeah.
$16 salad bar salad,
Yeah.
which I feel pressured to eat because I'm with my boss on the
Oh,
first
yeah.
week, and so I feel like I need to get a big box of sadness rather than eat my
exactly. That's what I did. I had a
cheeseburger
salad,
and
of
tots,
course.
which
No,
I
fuck
would
that. I'm having a
prefer
burger.
Yeah.
to eat. Yeah, same. Fuck.
But I've also been cussed out over purchasing a 32-ounce, 89 cents Buc-ee's drink while on business, because no purchases should be made under $1 on the corporate card. Show me in the policy, bitch. It's not
Like,
there.
like,
That's bullshit.
That
That's
is
just
the
your
dumbest
own
shit. Yeah.
your own financial
Tell me
bullshit.
exactly. Tell me what. Like that's the weirdest.
Tell me why. Like
That's-
literally,
Sing
tell
or-
me why.
And you should sing today.
Because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Because that's your own shit.
Yeah.
Show me. That's what I always say.
I
They're
have
very
the receipt,
professionally.
motherfucker.
Oh, please. Like, can you
Right.
show me
well, and that's why,
in the
that's why
T&L
HR
policy?
is such a thankless job, because what
Yep.
happens is senior most
Perpetuation of
senior
that
and then
bullshit.
senior most person comes and said, I need you to add language to the handbook
Yeah,
about
that says
nothing under
$1.
$1. And you're like, this is how we all need to be spending
Yeah.
our time. And then you feel like you can't push back. If this is probably again another topic, but if you to
Noted.
sum up, if you have some policies you've been required to add to your handbook, you drop those in our hrbesties.com
Oh, I know.
contact site, and please, because we know and we've all known when you're also in HR, you know how to read the code of handbook, and when you join a new company and you're reading that whole handbook because you're
Yeah.
in HR and you read and you're like, what on earth led
Oh, yeah.
to this being
That's just
added?
a
Yeah, we
CEO
know
ick.
when
Like,
something
you just
was,
know it's personal.
We know
you
when something's been added because there was an issue.
Exactly, Susan,
Yeah.
Bill,
Yeah.
we know it.
Oh, I hated how Lee always wants to buy those 89 cents. They're 2-ounce
just bugs
Buc-ee's
me.
drinks. So
Just
you put
not
some
right.
bullshit in there
Buc-ee's
that
Just
any-
not right. She should bring her own dollar.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Give me a
And Beaver
dollar
we
raise.
trust.
Give me
Oh
$7
man.
raise and I'll buy them.
Exactly. He's like, why can't you just use $1? Because bitch, I don't have $1.
Yeah.
Who cares?
I don't
Kat?
carry
And
cash.
why would I pay for cover it myself. I am on
No.
business travel.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's
Exactly.
against the rules for me to. I always say that shit. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
actually against the rules
right.
for me to pick this up.
Yeah, exactly.
Rules you all made, right?
There you go.
Ooh, you know?
There you go. There you go.
Oh gosh, but on that final
On that
comment, which is
excellent.
really a story that
You
I
should
said
post
was a
about that on
comment.
LinkedIn, Lee. You should post a story crying selfie. I got
crying.
in trouble.
Yes,
I got
with
in
my
trouble
drink.
for my Buc-ee's
I got
drink.
yelled at over making a purchase for hydration while on business travel. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. Oh, fun times, everybody.
Yes.
Fun times. Well, gosh, thank you for joining us for this HR Besties meeting. We love your attendance. Thank you so much. But we have a hard stop now.
Jamie does always.
Jamie, it's Jamie's fault,
I'm
really.
very busy.
All right. Bye, everybody.